Hi there, everyone. Robert, come here.
What's up?
See what's not showing up.
Are you not showing up?
I am not showing up.
Okay, so what we're gonna do with this video capture device.
Okay.
Um,
Did it totally get gone?
can we drag it to the left a little bit?
This one here? Here, take the mouse.
That was-
Robert's trying really hard not to get in front of the camera. You see his fuzzy head.
Only if I'm successful will you see my fuzzy head. Okay, video capture device. I keep wanting to grab that one. But this way. What is going on?
Alrighty.
No. Well, gosh darn it.
Need to put it back on? Lori says she prefers to stay away from cameras as well. Oh, that's why I like these classes. I like the banter. So feel free to. Chris Schneider. All right.
It does not want to pick that up.
Seth is here. Danielle is here.
Oh, we might not have a camera today. I have no idea why.
Why I disappeared off the
You
screen?
disappeared. It made you tiny, and now it's not showing nothing.
We've had that problem before.
We have all new setup, all new problems, right?
Exactly.
OBS, Camlink. I'm going to delete and re-add a video capture device.
Okay.
Do not touch the mouse.
Hello. Oh, we have two mice attached to the computer, and my tendency is to grab the mouse and start doing things, but Robert's trying to. Robert, by the way, is my son. He's our faithful assistant that helps me.
It is not getting anything from it. And things always go wrong the first time. That's just the rule.
Moved into a new studio for this class, and in moving into a new studio, we had to set up a whole new computer to run the live stream. So bear with us a little bit. Robert will most likely get to figuring it out, and we'll be on our way. So first thing we're going to do is, is everybody familiar with Kahoot? If you're not, what we're going to do to start is it's a live interactive game that we can do together. And I've put together some questions. Good. Danny and Ashley and Anant. And okay, Hollywood's not available. Hollywood is Chris Snyder. Okay. Do you go by Chris or Christopher? Or? So what you're going to do, what we're going to do is go to a website on your phone called Kahoot.com.
IT.
Oh, .it?
Yes.
Kahoot.it. I guess Kahoot.com is where I edit the Kahoots, but when you're participating, you see it. You see it that way. And it's got the there we are.
We got it.
Okay.
Now we get to reformat it so you can be in your proper space.
Okay. Well, we got the camera working. Now it's just a matter of putting it in the right format so that you can see it. And we'll do that shortly. Won't take too long.
I think that's good enough.
Are we getting an echo through the Are we getting an echo? Is that what you're saying, Seth?
Oh,
Okay, we're getting an echo. Can you disconnect?
that should fix it.
Okay, did we fix it?
Good. The camera had an extra microphone that it enabled when it finally caught on.
Okay.
Okay, so you should.
Okay, Seth says fixed. Good.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, you have the mouse back.
All right. Now, it's not showing over here yet, so
It's not going to show over there because is it showing down there?
yes,
Okay, then you're good.
then I'm good.
Okay.
I can see myself. That's awful. But it's good. Okay. All right. So, if everybody's going to Kahoot.it, I will go ahead and bring up Kahoot myself. And I will start. Okay, so what you do is after I hit this, it's going to give you a game pin where it says loading game pin. And so your game pin is 8561056. So on your phones, when you get into Kahoot.it, it'll ask you for a pin. And Brody found the pin and found where to put it, so that's good. And Logan, good. Ashley, you're choosing such wonderful pictures of yourself. That's so good. Chris and Seth and Connor and Lori and Gavin. Hey, this is going to be fun. We got a good group. Now, this first one is going to see what you know and possibly what you don't know about IT, cryptocurrencies, and the like. So, when we get everybody that's going to join on, what's the code again? It should be on the screen. It's up in the right corner. It's 8561056. Unless you have to multitask on the same device. I forgot about that. But 8561056, who are having to multitask on the same device. There. Okay, good. Robert put it online. All right, Diablo. That's an interesting way to spell Diablo. Okay, Mike. Changed pictures. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, and 8 is 11, 14, 15 people. Is that about all we have? Anybody that can't join that's trying to join? Okay. Austin, Halo, okay, they still keep coming. 17 folks online, that's good. That's good. Okay. Adam, have you made it in?
That should be it.
I don't see Adam yet. Adam said, what's the code again? So that's 8561056. Ah, Adam's got it. And Adam, you're trying to join, or? Ah, you're Diablo. Gotcha. Play on your last name. I get it. Okay, I get it. Very good. Okay, so I think we've got everybody that's going to be here. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, what'll happen is I'll go ahead and read the question so that I don't have to sit silent here for 60 seconds. The question will flash on the screen, on the main part of the screen, and then it'll start the timer after you've had a little time to read the question, and then it'll have 60 seconds, a full minute, to answer. Now, part of it, the 60 seconds, is unfortunately going to get taken up in the about the 6 to 8 second delay that we have in me showing it on the screen and you actually seeing it, because there is a little bit of a delay that I couldn't get out of it. I couldn't get YouTube to present me immediately, but that's okay. So we found that a minute works out just fine. So here you go. And the first question is Blockchain for Business Week 1, 3, 2, 1, 0. True or false? All cryptocurrencies are on a blockchain, But all not blockchains do not involve cryptocurrencies. But not all blockchains involve cryptocurrencies. So, true or false? Let's see. Okay, we got 9. Have 17 people, so I'm looking for 17 answers. 3 more still thinking about it. 2 more thinking. Okay, so we had 3 answer false and 14 answer true. That is correct. All cryptocurrencies are on a blockchain, but not all blockchains involve cryptocurrencies. In other words, we have a whole class of blockchains that are for business and don't have cryptocurrencies in them at all. So that's the first. And let's go on to the next. And so the scores are Brody in first at this point. Only by 4, though, but the first 5. Now, see, if you answer it correct, you get points. If you're the fastest one to answer it correct, you get more points than the others. Okay? And that's how the scoring works. So next, let's see a quiz. Sam Bankman-Fried was recently arrested for... a crypto hack that stole nearly $1.8 billion worth of Bitcoin, or running Tornado Cash, or defrauding investors, or violating SEC regulations. We have 13 answers in, 4 more to come. One more. Okay. All right. We had one person decline to answer, it looks like. And 9 people got the question right. 6 people answered a crypto hack. 1 person answered running Tornado Cash. He was actually the CEO of an exchange called FTX. His girlfriend was the CEO of a firm called Alameda Securities. And the problem with that was that they basically took people's funds, and he had acquired $26 billion of wealth in his own accounts, while giving a lot of money to politicians and spreading it all around and creating a lot of goodwill for himself. And then, as Max correctly identifies, when the Ponzi scheme started unraveling, when the value of cryptos went down, all of a sudden the rocks and everything was exposed like a river going dry. And CoffeeZilla did an excellent documentary series about it exactly. So if you're curious about it, look up CoffeeZilla on YouTube. He actually interviews Sam Bankman-Fried and gets him to describe what he's doing, and he describes a Ponzi scheme. And the guy, I don't know what CoffeeZilla's name is off the top of my head, but he tells him, "You're identifying something illegal here," and he says, "Oh no, it's not illegal." Yeah, he does make great videos. I hope someday to make as good of videos as he does. All right, next. So we've got a little bit of switching. Logan now is in first place with Seth and Ryan and Chris and Anant following up. Hugh moved up 6 places. You must answer the first one either very slow or wrong. Anyway, you got it up. Good. All right, number 3. What is an NFT? Is it a non-fungible token? Is it a non-functioning trade? Is it a network-facilitated trade? A computer-generated image? Those are your possible answers. Okay, and 16. Did we have a person drop out? Oh, we had 17 answers. Okay. And most people know that it's a non-fungible token. And we're going to talk about non-fungible tokens for a period of time, because non-fungible tokens basically mean a unique token. And for business, a unique token is exactly what they need in order to represent pieces of data that are unique to the owner. Now, there's been a big craze about getting pictures and all digital art, but it extends to much more than digital art, which is very interesting. So let's move on. Vertigo. Okay. And how did we do that? Oh, Logan stayed in first place and ran his lead farther up. Okay, let's go. Let's see. True or false? Satoshi Nakamoto invented the blockchain and implemented it in Bitcoin. And this is a statue representing Satoshi Nakamoto. And notice it's a very generic face because we have no clue who he really is. We have one person who claims that he's Satoshi, but doesn't have the backup to support that claim. So he's not being taken very seriously. So Nakamoto invented the blockchain and implemented it in Bitcoin. 16 answers. Let's see. It is a false. And I tricked more than half of the class on that one. Actually, blockchain. Hey, Robert, what year was it that blockchain was actually invented? 85?
It was first proposed in, mid-80s.
The mid-80s is when it actually was created, and Satoshi used it to do the cryptocurrencies. So, but he did invent blockchain. He did invent Bitcoin, yes. Okay, so let's see. We got a lead change, and Ryan is taking the lead, and Anant is quickly following, and Logan faded a little bit. Must have been one that I fooled. Okay, here we go. Quiz. What's the difference between fiat and cryptocurrencies? Well, cryptocurrencies cannot be used to purchase real goods, or fiat currency can be printed at any time. Crypto is governed by a rule set, or fiat currency cannot be used to purchase real goods, or fiat currency has a set quantity. Crypto is infinite through enough mining. All right. Okay, 15. And we always have somebody who answers right at the last second. And my commentary on the numbers. Boy, we've got a pretty even spread there. 7 people got it right, but I fooled 9 of you. So fiat currency can be printed at any time. And that's the main criticism that crypto enthusiasts have to the benefit of crypto. Bitcoin, for example, will be capped at a certain number. That'll happen about 2040 after it's mined all of the coin and put them into the wild. But fiat currency, like we saw during the crisis, virus crisis, they printed and printed and printed until finally they got it. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, I have to reset our camera here.
All right, we're recording again. Okay, so on to the next question. Let's see if this shuffled any of the leadership here. And Ryan held on to his lead and extended his lead. Logan's coming back after him, though, and Anant is still there in the run. Okay, so let's see about this one. 6 of 9. What are the largest cryptocurrencies by market cap? Ethereum, or BNB, or Bitcoin, or Tether? Okay. Let's see. oddly enough, my wife, who knows very little about this topic, oddly enough, when she took this question, she actually got it right. I was so surprised. Maybe I do talk about it more than I know. All right. Yes, this is an ordering one. As in the text, you switch around the answers until you get them in the right order. All right. Okay, how many people got it in the right order? Hey, most of you. Very, very good. And frankly, you could probably put BNB at the bottom because you probably don't know what BNB is in a lot of respects. You probably hear in the news of Bitcoin and Ethereum all the time. And you know that Bitcoin came first and Ethereum was a quick follower afterwards. And then, of course, Tether is in the news because it's supposedly pegged to the dollar. So it's what they call a stable coin. And we'll talk about stable coins during our time together as well. Okay? So let's see who answered quick and who answered later. And Ryan and Logan stayed on the top. Oh, Anant. I gave up some territory there a little bit. So Nico is knocking on the door. Very good, very good. So let's go to the next one. Let's see what happens. What's the difference between a token and a non-fungible token? NFTs are specifically tied to an image, or an NFT is a unique location on a blockchain, or tokens do not have value where NFTs do, or they are the same. They're both tokens. So which is the best answer? All righty, we're getting there here. We went out and looked for an image of tokens and found this token. I don't know where it came from, what it's a picture of, but it was good for 10 cents back in the day. So whatever country or whatever place it was good for 10 cents. Okay. Okay. So we see that the news media has basically, fooled a lot of you into believing that NFTs are just those images like Bored Apes is probably the most popular. In fact, it's the largest NFT provider. But an NFT is actually a location on a blockchain that is tied to some specific information. So it could be an image, it could be data, it could be a security token, it could be a lot of different information depending on what the blockchain provider has tied it to. So it's actually a unique location on a blockchain. Okay, so here we go. Oh, Ryan. Okay, Gavin took first place. Cool. And Logan, boy, got some shuffling going on here. That's good. Hello, I'm late, Preston. Okay. Very good. Thanks for joining, Preston. Okay. So, which of these industries does not have a large-scale blockchain solution? Farm-to-table food, or global shipping, or weather tracking, traffic monitoring, international bank transfers, or if you're choosing green, all of the above? Let's see what everybody answers. Yeah, you got to shuffle through 6 answers. That can take some time to read all those and figure out which ones have more data. Okay, 15. Looking for 16 and then 17. Hey, Robert, could you look through the chat window and let Preston know what the number is if he wants to join for the last question? Okay, we got a good spread here. 9, all of the above. Yes, every single one of those categories actually has a significant blockchain presence, helping to make their businesses more profitable and more streamlined. So, Robert,
I got it.
did you see how you worded that question versus what the answer was?
Yes, absolutely.
I
understand it's a bit awkward.
Yeah, does not have a large scale, but we're all of the above. Blockchain is everywhere means all of them have a large scale.
You said none of the above. You're
Robert.
Hopefully you guys understood.
Okay, 9 of them did, but 5 might have to be given a consolation prize, or 7 of them might. Okay, all right, let's go next. Oh, Gavin is on fire. That's what the icon means there. Must mean that you've answered several in a row. Streak of 4 correct answers in a row. That's pretty cool. All right, last question. What are some of the benefits of blockchain for business? And always open for the public viewing and audits. Creates a trustworthy database of information that can be saved and edited. Stores information in a single authoritative location to prevent data loss. The chain structure allows for seamless branching of data, or provides human-readable data storage, or if you don't like any of those answers, you say none of the above. All right, there's 15, 16, 17 answers. Okay. Well, none of the above was the correct answer. And let me explain why the others were not correct, because I fooled a lot of you on the purple there, with 7 of you answering there. So I'll start with the purple one. The chain structure allows for seamless branching of data. Blockchains don't branch unless there's a code change that they either call a hard fork or a soft fork. A soft fork if they expect both branches to continue, or a hard fork if they want it to branch and the code change apply to everyone. And so that's a hard fork. They force everybody into the new branch. But the chain structure itself does not allow for seamless branching. It has to be forced by the programmers. So if we go, nobody answered the machine human readable data storage. That's good. All of you are coders. It's machine code is not readable. Good. Green. Stores information in a single authoritative location to prevent data loss. Actually, it's on a distributed ledger, and a distributed ledger is deliberately stored in many locations, and the many locations help prevent data loss because you'd have to hack all of them at the same time, which is very difficult to do. So blue creates a trustworthy database of information that can be saved and edited. Blockchains are immutable. They cannot be edited, not without significant hacking capability, which would require either supercomputer or quantum computing. And even supercomputers would have a very, very difficult time being able to edit all the nodes as they pass by. Okay, and we'll talk more about immutability and why and how it's immutable as we progress on. An always open system for public viewing and audits. Bitcoin is always open for public viewing and audits. It is a public blockchain. But when you get to blockchain for business, they're always permissioned blockchains. So they're not open to the public just to go and gander at whatever they want. They're only open to authorized participants in that particular blockchain. So that is that. And let's see. Okay, on the podium, third place, Ryan. Okay. And second place, Logan. And who stayed in first place? Ta-da. We have Gavin. Okay. Gavin kept first place. So runners up, Mike and Connor. Okay. So very, very good. That is good. Okay. So 43% of all people answered correctly. So that's pretty good, actually, for starting off. This is your first week. In fact, it's only the third day, and you still have a lot of learning ahead. And these weekly blockchain classes will come in handy, these weekly times that we get together. Now, for those who are not able to attend for some reason or another, you just have to watch the replay on YouTube using the same exact link. It'll take you to a replay of this video, and that is posted right after we get done closing out. I think there's a little bit of a lag while it compiles and formats the actual video, but it is posted mainly right after the class. So what I'd like to do is take a little break to reset my equipment and rest my voice just a little bit, and we'll launch into our next subject. So we will go ahead and take a break for about 5 minutes, and I'll be right back. Thanks.
set the camera.
All right. Almost ready to begin. Robert's going to come in quick and just turn on my camera. All right, that hump you saw going by was Robert. Okay, very good. So what we're going to talk about now is one of those important areas where blockchain is making a difference. And we're going to talk a lot later on in the course after we learn a few of the building blocks about how blockchain and AI and Internet of Things really work well together to create applications that are actually creative and quite useful. And here we're going to talk about intellectual property management. I'll define what it is, and we'll look at the things that it does. And in doing so, we'll show you what they're doing in that space to improve the ability for corporations to both license their intellectual property and discover who has already discovered intellectual property in the way of patents. And by doing so, they can, accelerate their ability to monetize their intellectual property and license their patents out to other people to use, and lose the time that they would normally spend in court suing over somebody who didn't see that you had a patent. Hopefully it helps people to discover, or companies to discover, who has patents, and therefore would not then stomp on that patent, but create something that would embellish or add to that patent. So we'll show various information that helps you understand the market and going forward with that. Okay, so basically, what is intellectual property? And the best way I can do is to show you what intellectual property is. Hey, Robert, where's my Adobe Acrobat? Robert, you there?
It's Microsoft Edge.
Oh, Edge. Okay. All right. It came up in Edge instead of Acrobat. So here are some patents that were developed in history. H.C. Thrift is my great-great-grandfather, and we found that he had patents to his name, and notice the date is 1919, and he was in the oil industry back when Standard Oil was drilling wells all the way across Oklahoma and Texas and developing all the oil fields down in that area. So one of his patents and his inventions was what they called a pipe pulling device. And it literally pulled pipes out of the ground. In other words, they would drill into the ground, and the bit would be down there drilling, and eventually the bit has to come back up so that they can release all the sediment and such that gathers around the bit. And so pulling it up becomes very important, so they can clean it up and put it back down. Also, so they pick it up, clean it, put it back down, and add length to it so that it can go down further. So this describes everything that his pipe pulling device did. And basically, here's where it shows how it grabbed onto the pipe to pull it up. And then here it describes all the compression, the high pressure hydraulics that it used to grab a hold of that pipe and be used. Now, you see the inventor's signature here and the attorney's signature that wrote it. And the important part about these is that here's all the diagrams that show what it's about, but there's a bunch of legalese that appears in all of these patents where the attorney has to get in there and write up the big description as to what the patent is. Now, this patent happens to be 5 pages long. It has 3 pages of diagrams. So there's only 2 pages of text in this. So back in 1919, they were pretty brief, okay? And it just goes on for the full 2 pages of text and goes on. Now, the challenge with the IP industry has been, how do they go and know that this patent might be the same as something that they're inventing? So let's go on to another one. Here we have, if any of you know Koch Engineering from Wichita, Kansas, my great-grandfather's son, my grandfather worked for, and here's his name, Griffin Seathrift, and Cliff Huggins was his co-inventor on this one. Some of these inventions Griffin has by himself, but some he invented with Huggins, and Huggins had a few of his own as well, all for Koch Engineering, and these are the attorneys for Koch Engineering, okay? So here's the patent. Now, how do I have this information, okay? Information from the patent office is all public data, okay? It's all publicly held information that anybody can get a hold of. There are several repositories. In fact, most of them are free repositories where you can get PDF copies of any and all of these patent notices. And so because Koch Engineering also did work in Canada, they also had patents that also had to be applied in Canada as well. Unfortunately, part of the challenge with China is that China does not have patent restrictions. And so it's very difficult to do business in China or with Chinese compatriots because they tend to have the idea that anything you show me is free for me to share with anybody back home. And so that's a challenge with intellectual property and China in that respect. Russia was that way for a very, very long time. And although we don't do business with Russia much today because of the Ukraine war, we still, they improved their patent protection a lot and allowed people to do much more business in Russia because of that. So here you see, this one's 9 pages long, and we're on the 3rd page and it's diagrams, 4th page is diagrams, 5th page diagrams, and here we actually get to the text. You see, this one's a lot newer, 1956. So being newer, it's a lot clearer. It's very well typewritten, and probably not, 56, it was still on a typewriter, and it has a few pages of text. Now the challenge is, back again, how do you dig into this text and know exactly what you're dealing with? How can you get a summary of this text and be able to understand all the different patents that may apply to your particular invention that you're wanting to get patented? Well, it was pretty much next to impossible until computers came along, but even not very possible at that point because they still had to do a lot of reading of the text, and it wasn't very possible to do that until AI came along that could read the text and then summarize the text along with it so that a summary could be provided to users, okay? So we go, about 4 pages of text here, and that's about all in 1956. Believe me, they're a lot longer today, unless you look at the moonwalk patent that was filed. Robert, help me remember his name. The singer that passed away about a decade ago. Gosh, why can't I remember his name? Michael Jackson, yes. Michael Jackson actually patented the moonwalk, and that patent is pretty short. And Apple actually patented the cell phone when they first came out, and the problem is it made it through the patent office so simple in its description that it would apply to any cell phone today. So technically Apple was going to not let anybody in the market, in fact sued Samsung for many years in court until they finally settled the patent lawsuit, because basically the description was a flat screen device with rounded edges that answered the phone and got into the internet. That's about it. And that was their definition of a smartphone. So how many of your phones follow the description of a flat screen with beveled edges? All of them. So, yeah, thankfully they finally got that lawsuit settled and moved on. So, patent after patent. Here's another HC Thrift pressure controlling mechanism, more stuff for the, the oil industry. And here's a well packer plug. He had a lot of inventions for the oil industry. Eventually, his business was sold to Howard Hughes when Howard Hughes wanted to get into the oil business big, and my great-grandfather wanted to retire, and his son, Griffin Thrift, didn't want to take it over, so he had moved on already. So away it went, and of course, I didn't have the option to get any money out of it, of course. That's the way things go. Okay, so now you know what a patent is, and you can probably get a picture now for how difficult it is to be able to take this information and actually make viable sense of it and do so quickly. Basically what happened was that in order to get through this, you had to hire a bank of attorneys, and those attorneys, they might not be familiar exactly with your business, but they know how to read legalese. And so knowing how to read legalese, they could then be able to get into that and see if it pertained to the particular invention that they were briefed on, so they could find IP that was important for you to make sure that you avoided stomping on their patents and so forth. Or to look for, if you're building something, make sure that you got the right licenses for particular patent holders so that you didn't get sued in court, that type of thing. So how did blockchain solve the problem? Let's move on. In 2017, IPWE is the way they pronounce that. They created a global patent market. They combined information and tools to identify patents and research and understand them. Okay, so they basically wanted to bring transparency and efficiency and get rid of the wasted costs of hiring banks of attorneys and cut out, they say, billions in costs, so that they could focus on small to mid-sized businesses who frankly don't have the kind of money it takes to do the research on all these patents. Some small to medium-sized businesses don't even have the ability to file a patent because it takes so much attorney time in order to get it done. So here they wanted to streamline it, and this is where they started. So basically they combined with IBM. Okay, IBM is a major player in developing this system for IPWE, and they use AI capabilities, and they blended what they call natural language processing. In other words, the AI knew how to read, okay, and then they put in there with predictive analytics and machine learning from the IBM Watson AI system from IBM. So they quickly were able to feed it information on these PDF files. I don't know if they made the paper files into PDF first or they just fed it all PDF files. I don't know how the mechanics work, but they were able to have the AI read all of them and generate summaries of each one. And of course, they probably had a neural network of some sort that analyzed also the drawings so that they could see similar drawings that might apply to your particular invention. Now, what it also did is it provided the ability for companies who didn't realize that they had viable intellectual property to be able to begin monetizing that intellectual property, because they could see that, yeah, they had invented something unique that wasn't patented yet, and they could then get a patent and sell the intellectual property in the way of licensing. So they identified lucrative opportunities then. So AI and blockchain together allowed them to build what they call a global patent registry. Now, if you search global patent registry on the web, you'll see there's tons of them. They call them indexes and they call them patent registries, and there's various names for pretty much the same thing. It's a list of registries of different patents that are available. Now, some, of course, claim to be global and others claim to be just the U.S. and so forth, okay? I searched those just to see if there were major competitors out there for IPV, and yes, there are. Now, how many of them actually use AI to read them, or if it's just a list, I wasn't able to actually log in or buy any one of the other registries to be able to check them, but still, what this does is it allows people to generate reports that actually give them enough information to proceed forward with getting a patent or realizing that their invention was unique. So basically what happens then is they can sell the patents and be able to get money for them. Okay, so I'd like to go ahead and open it up for questions. Apple succeeded in patenting a rectangle with round corners. Yeah, it was ridiculous. You're right. Yes, you're absolutely right. So, does anybody now have any questions concerning the class, concerning what we're going to do going forward? Like I said, if you miss one of these live streams, we can very much go ahead and let you look at the live stream afterwards. It's better if you're here, you enjoy the camaraderie, and we learn together. I'd like you to be here for that reason, because it's just fun. It was fun watching the banter going back and forth. It's great. So if you can join us each week, that'd be great. But if you can't, watch it afterwards. Send me an email with a summary of what we discussed during the meeting, and then you can send that off to me, and we'll give you full credit. Now, it is a significant part of your grade, so if you can't attend, don't forget to watch it and send me that email. Try to do it before the next Wednesday, because eventually that'll catch up to you as you go forward. And the last week, you only got 2 or 3 days if you miss that last week. So be sure to go ahead and do that. So Adam asks for the article and reply, does the source matter? In that case, no. I'm not going to make you go to the Lindenwood Tech Library or anything like that. Just a source on the web, what's being said. Generally, this data and information is so new that the current event articles are meant really to share current stuff that's happening that wouldn't be in the Lindenwood Electronic Library or the regular library yet. There wouldn't be published documents that have gone through the whole process to get published. So yes, just find something good on the web through a reputable source and post it. I'll tell you if the source isn't reputable, because I'll make fun of them. If I find an article that you've posted that I think is a bunch of hooey, I'll highlight that article in the next week, and we'll have some fun poking holes in a person's arguments. So yeah, post what you find, and we'll have some fun with it and talk about it. Okay. Any good reputable sites that write articles on blockchain tech? Yes, there are. Blockchain.org is the premium one. Bitcoin.org is the premium one if you're looking at just Bitcoin. Blockchain.org is another one that just talks about blockchain, but they tend to focus more on crypto. Most of the sites that are devoted just to blockchain are going to talk about crypto and cryptocurrencies, which makes it kind of difficult to ferret out some articles. But you are able to find articles where companies are in fact using blockchain and tell about it. Okay, so unfortunately, I found far too many that require paid subscription to read their articles. I have so many cyber newsletters already, but they're all free. I have so many cyber newsletters, but they are all free. Well, that's good. And if you want to share any of those links in the chat window to help people find some of those newsletters, that'd be great. Okay, current blockchain news should garner several hits. That's a good one. Okay. Okay, Anand said he just looked up blockchain events and found things. Cybersecurity, yes. Blockchain is really big into the cybersecurity side of it, because that's one of the benefits of blockchain It's just inherent ability to lock down the data in such a way that you can't get to it. 3 sites related to blockchain that are free. Yes, you'll find a lot of places that are free. I'm never had a problem with students finding blockchain sites that were free. Okay. All right. Any other questions? How recent does the article need to be? It would be good if the article were written in the last year. Things progress fast enough that something older than that gets to be a bit stale. But frankly, don't miss the assignment just because you can't find a newer article. Post an older one if that's all you get. Hit the deadline for the article on Wednesday night so that you can make that. Okay. Okay. I think that pretty much. I think that pretty much handles the questions. If I didn't see your question in the chat window, I've got a tablet next to me where I'm looking at the chat window. If I didn't happen to see the question, ask it again real quick. Robert, you want to ask for a roll call?
Sure.
So at the end of the meeting, what we're going to do is at the end, we'll go ahead and ask for everybody just to post one last time so we get everybody's name all together. And with all together, it makes it easier just to give everybody credit that's been here already and be able to move forward. So usually I post the ones that I saw here. I post the grades tomorrow morning, usually early in the morning. So if you see a 0, because I'll put zeros in place for people that I didn't see there. If you saw, if you were here and I missed you, just let me know and we'll take care of that. Okay. So everybody's posting one last time. And frankly, everybody can go ahead and sign off once they've posted once. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody next week. Thanks. Talk to you again later. Now,